Hey guys, this is Ian from Crushing Carbon Barbecue. I'm just trying something new out. I wanted to take y'all along on this journey. We're trying beef ribs today. As you can see, I got the pit going, got the charcoal started. This is not a professional barbecue video by any means. I just wanted to take y'all along so that you can see what it takes to do beef ribs for a first timer. Maybe they turn out great, maybe not. Let's see what happens, y'all. Alright guys, right here we've got some delicious beef ribs. I got them from my local butcher. As you can see, they've got a lot of fat on the top here. Now I've watched a ton of videos. Like I say, this isn't professional. I'm not telling you how to do it. I just am taking you along on the journey of how I do it. But I've seen a lot of mixed reviews as to do you trim it, do you not trim it. Mine's got a substantial amount of fat on the top cap, so I'm going to go ahead and trim these ribs up a little bit. We're going to focus on that, then we're going to season them, and then they're going on the smoker. Alright, we're going to go heavy with some coarse ground kosher salt. Always kosher salt, always. This is one I got from Aaron Franklin, and we're just going to pat that in there. We're just doing salt and pepper on these beef ribs. We're just going to treat it like a brisket because that meat's already so flavorful, and there's already so much meat in there that you don't really need to go too crazy. You can use a rub if you want. I've seen some people use rubs. I personally am just going to do salt and pepper. Like I say, treat it just like a brisket. And you want to make sure you season the sides. All right, and then we got coarse ground black pepper. Lots of pepper. We're going to be nice and liberal with the pepper because the pepper is going to help create that awesome bark that we're looking for. Same thing on the sides. Nice and liberal with it. Don't forget to season the little end cap over here. And we're just going to pat that in. And now you'll notice I didn't season this back membrane, or did I try to pull any of it off. The difference between pork ribs, you want to get that silver skin, that membrane off of pork ribs. But with beef ribs, because they're going so long and they're so tender, what you got to do is you got to leave it on because that'll keep them from falling apart. These are going to be fall off the bone tender. I mean, like soft butter. So if you overcook them and you take that membrane off, they'll just fall apart, and that'll be a big mess that you don't want. So what I'm looking, and I don't season this because I've done a lot of research, and from what I understand, you're not even getting really any smoke flavor. There's not a ton of meat on the other side of this bone, and you're not really going to get any kind of rub or seasoning or anything to penetrate that bone. So we're about to get ready to throw it on the pit, and we'll go from there. Alright guys, we got the smoker all ready to go. We've got our beef ribs all seasoned up, looking good, trimmed up. Now we're going to do these beef ribs anywhere between 275 and 300. If you have a Traeger or a Pit Boss or something like that, anywhere in those ranges, that's what you're looking for. I'm using a stick burner, so it takes a little bit more time, a little more babysitting, but I think that the final product will show what it's all about. And now right here you can see we're going to get a good bit of pullback on these ribs because we've got a nice big fat cap on one side of it. So whenever we pull them out, after about 3.5 hours, we're going to check on these guys. And we're going to get them probably a good substantial amount of pullback. So let's go ahead and put them on the pit and see what we get. And I'm actually going to do this thicker, meatier side towards the heat. Not much sizzle when you put them on there. That's exactly what you're looking for. And I'll see y'all in 3.5 hours. right, guys, we're at about the 3.5 hour mark for our beef rib cook. We're going to take a look at how these are doing, if they got a good bark, if they're going along quite nice. We're probably going to wrap them, and we'll do that now. So let's take a look at these. Now that is looking pretty much spot on to what I wanted. You've got a really good bark there. Significant amount of pullback, but we knew that before because of that amount of fat that we had in these ribs. Don't get alarmed when you have pullback like that, because that just means you got a big old nice chunk of meat on top of that bone. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and transfer them over here to our aluminum foil. Oh, those look pretty good. I got about 6 ounces of beef broth here. And this is just something to give them a little something to braise in. You don't want to go crazy with it, but it's just something to tenderize them. Just a little bit of juice to get them going, so we get that really good tender rib in the end, which is just what we're looking for. Oh, don't want to lose it. Let's go ahead and pour the rest of our beef broth in there. And let's wrap these guys. Now, you don't want to wrap them too crazy tight, because you don't want to lose any of that juice, and you don't want those bones poking through. So, just make sure that they're nice and snug, and back on the pit. All right, and we'll see you guys in another 3.5 hours. Check them, see where we're at, and then it's time to dig in. All right, guys. We're at the 6 hour mark on the beef ribs. Right now, we've got them wrapped. We've got the beef broth in there. This is just a check to see where we're at with cooking, see if they need to go longer, if it's time for them to come off. So let's take a peek at what we got. Whoa. Those actually look pretty good. Now when we temp check them, we're looking for, there it is. That's exactly what we're looking for. We're looking for a softened butter. Just a nice soft consistency. That is perfect. That's just what we're looking for. And this looks absolutely perfect, so what we're going to do is we're going to let it rest for 30 minutes to an hour in a cooler, and then we'll slice it up. Okay, guys, moment of truth. First ever beef ribs. Smoked them for 6.5 hours. They look perfect when they came off. Everything about them looks pretty good to me. I mean, they've been resting at this point for about 40 minutes. We've let them rest. And look at that heat we still got on them. Really surprising. Just slice it right down the bone. Let's see what we get. Oh. I think they're done. Juicy, tender. Oh my God. Alright guys, after having beef ribs for the first time, admittedly, and cooking them for the first time, they turned out fantastic. I would highly recommend that if you can get access to these at your local butcher, please do so. They were fall off the bone tender, well worth the work that you got to put into them. Make sure that you follow us on Instagram at Crushin_Carbon BBQ. We're putting up photos and videos all the time. If you liked this video, make sure you like and subscribe, and we'll be coming at you with new content weekly. If you have any suggestions or you have any questions, leave that in the comments below. Any access that you need will be in the description below. Thank you very much again, and happy barbecuing until next time, everybody.